Am I too old to be a content creator? Well, hello there, my loves. Welcome to week 8 of The Artist's Way. Again, it's not Sunday, but we move. So week 8 was about recovering a sense of strength, and might I say, this is the most reading we had to do since I started doing The Artist's Way. I felt like it wasn't ending. There was story after story after story. Also, my hair looks strange. Anyway, so it starts with the first chapter is talking about survival. And to be honest, I felt like I was surviving through week 8. Oh, speaking of survival, we are supposed to start with the weekly check-in. The first check-in, as usual, is how many days did you do your morning pages? Have you been very tempted to abandon them? How was the experience for you? I did 4.5 morning pages, I believe, if not 5. Because this weekend I went out and I got up in the morning, I had a hangover, and when I had a hangover, I just wrote like one line. In the morning when I got back from the club, I wrote a line. And then the next day I still continued, and that was it. During the week, did I miss anything? Not that I can think of. But yeah, I did not abandon them intentionally. I abandoned them because circumstances. Did you do your artist date? I did not. Have you been allowing workaholism or other commitments to sabotage this practice? Damn. I was supposed to go on Saturday, but Saturday other stuff came up. I'm going to do 2 artist dates in week 9, which is this week. It's already Wednesday, Sheila. When are you going to do your 2 artist dates? Did you experience any synchronicities this week, and what was it? I honestly don't remember any synchronicities, and I know most of the times I remember while I'm talking. This week nothing came to me as a synchronicity, but I'm going to be more mindful this particular week, this week 9. I'm going to be more mindful. Were there any other issues this week that you consider significant to your recovery? Describe them. I've just realized that I'm posting a lot less, which is not like the new version of me, because I've been posting every day since January 1st to March 30th, at least 2 to 3 times a day. And now I'm slacking, which is, I don't know. I've been slacking since the month of April, which I don't know what that is all about, but that's the only significant thing I'm noticing. I'm also noticing that I'm not as in tune with the book as I was when I started this journey. Again, I do not know what that is all about. Now let's go to the things that stood out for me this week. The first chapter is about survival. If artistic creations are our brainchild, artistic losses are our miscarriage. Okay, I see where the author is coming from. We need to learn how to be mindful of the losses that we make. For example, if I post a video and it doesn't get the views that I want, it burns my ego a little bit, and that ego that is bruised stops me from moving forward and being the best version of myself. At least that's how I'm looking at it, and just showing up until things happen, because opportunity meets preparation meets opportunity type shit. Anyway, she goes on to say, perhaps the most damaging form of artistic loss has to do with criticism. You put out content and you don't get proper feedback, or some people criticize you. They're like, oh, you need to do this like that, you need to do this like, type shit. I feel like I'm losing my words today. Just criticism from outside, criticism from the inner voice in you. I feel like that's why we practice a lot of affirmations. And I also did notice some affirmations at the end of this chapter, which is helpful for such cases where you face criticism from outside and inside. And then in the next chapter for week 8, she was talking about the ivory power. It has been my experience as a visiting artist that many academics are themselves artistic belongings who are deeply frustrated by the inability to create. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Damn. Okay, I see what you mean. Imagination is more important than knowledge. I haven't been in my imagination space. I've been more in the knowledge space, whereby you know stuff, but you're not very artistic to execute. I don't know why I'm in that space so much. Well, I might know and might not know, but that's where I've been. The reading was insane. There were too many pages to read. Surround yourself with people who respect and treat you well. This is a reminder that I need to remind myself every day. Like, surround yourself with people that are always encouraging you, because I think I'm a good person. I know I'm a good person. I'm always encouraging people. I'm always wishing the best for people. Do I have hints of jealousy every once in a while when things work out for people and they don't work out for me? Yes, but I feel like these hints of jealousy are like no more comparison being the thief of joy type shit, and I'm learning to deal with that. I've been very mindful lately of the thoughts I have towards others and the thoughts I have towards myself. When I see people doing well and I see people surpassing me, when I feel like I've worked so hard and then they came and did one tiny thing, it does affect my mental. But then I'm just like, everyone has their own journey. Sheila, your journey is your journey. Whatever you're getting from this is not the same thing they're getting from what they're doing. So I need to learn to relax and calm down and stop comparing myself, because honestly, the numbers that people have that I want, maybe these numbers are not even getting them the results that they're looking for. But I don't even want to wish them bad, Sheila. I feel like this is a video diary of me speaking out my mind, but that's how I feel. I'm going to stop there because this video will be so long when I keep on yapping. Like the career of any athlete, an artist's life will have its injuries. Interesting. Then the next chapter is about gain disguised as loss. Art is the act of restructuring time. I read this the other day and I'm like, I've been doing this thing lately where I figure out how I'm spending my time and my day. I'm still trying to work around it, but damn, I realize I waste so much time in my day, which I knew. But when you actually start analyzing your life and being mindful of how you spend it, you realize, oh my gosh, I spend so much time scrolling. And because I have this app on my phone that every time it locks me out of TikTok, Instagram, all these things, and then I catch myself asking for 15 more minutes. I'm like, damn girl, 15 more minutes add up real quick. Every end is a beginning. So when you feel like you've lost something, it doesn't mean that you've actually lost. You've probably gained something. Again, this chapter is called Gain Disguised as Loss. Gain disguised as loss is a potent artist's tool. To acquire it, simply brutally ask, how can this loss serve me? Where does it point my work? The answer will surprise and liberate you. The trick is to metabolize pain as energy. Metabolize pain as energy. Energy for what? Sorry, I'm joking. That was just me being dramatic. The key to doing that is to know, to trust, and to act as if a silver lining exists if you are only willing to look at the work differently or walk through a different door, one that you might have balked at. Interesting. Art is a technique of communication. I totally agree with this because as a content creator, I'm looking at this as a content creator because that's the reason I'm doing the artist way. The form of expression I want to express myself and the way I want people to understand me is a form of communication. So if I post a video and it doesn't communicate exactly what I want to communicate, then I'm not communicating my art properly. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but you get the point. So the author is encouraging us to ask how instead of why. Instead of saying, why me? Why is this happening to me? Just ask, how can I move forward? How can I become better? The better questions you ask, the more you move forward. I learned when hit by a loss to ask the right questions. What's next instead of why me? I have learned that the key to career resilience is self-empowerment and choice. Yeah, you always have to empower yourself, especially on this journey of being a creative. Listen, you're not always going to be everyone's tea. You're not always going to be the person that is chosen front and center. Maybe in the future, right now might not be your time, and that's okay, but you're the only person who is going to keep encouraging yourself, because if you look at any loss as a loss instead of looking at it as a way forward, then you're just going to always keep yourself behind. Positive reinforcement is very important. I cannot state how important that is. The world of reality has its limits. The world of imagination is boundless. I want to be in the world of imagination when it comes to content, but sometimes I feel like maybe I'm over consuming content, that it keeps a cap on what my creative levels are, yet I'm super creative. The author says, do not let the bastards get you down, because people will get you down. People will be like, oh, so you think now that you've posted content you're that big? Or brands will try and tell you, for example, me that works with brands, they'll try and lowball you. Do not let these people get you down, because you know what you have to bring to the table, especially if you've been showing up and been present and putting in the work. When faced with a loss, immediately take one small action to support your artist. One small action in this case the author was talking about, don't think about, for example, I applied for Sephora Squad. Let's say I don't make it, which that's not what I'm saying. I will make it. But if you don't make it today, it does not mean that it's the end of the world. What you could do is start taking steps forward, because it happens every year. Maybe next year you'll get it. That is what I'm getting from that particular statement. The next chapter in week 8 is talking about age and time, product and process. Basically, what the author was talking about is when we talk down on ourselves based on age. And I do this a lot. I'm like, am I too old to be a content creator? And then I put a cap on how much work I should put in, because I see most of the people that are making it right now are youngsters, younger than me. They're in their 20s. I'm in my 30s, mid-30s at that. So it just becomes very complicated. It's very emotional. And she says here, I'm too old is something we tell ourselves to save ourselves from the emotional cost of ego deflation involved in being a beginner. Damn. Shots fired! Our ego plays this little trick to keep us from getting started. The attention to final form ignores the fact that creativity lies not in the done but in the doing. Wow, how important is that? And I know this for a fact. The more I start creating, this happens with me when I'm creating content and I'm very consistent and I'm posting every day. What happens is that while I'm creating, I feel more, it's like fuel to do what next. I'm like, oh, tomorrow I'll do this, then the next day I'll do this, and the next day I'll do that. But when I'm in a content slump, which I am right now, like if I scroll 1, 2, and I can see my birthday posts on TikTok and Instagram, it means I'm in a slump. Because before meaning January to March, I would scroll 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm still in like 1 week because I was being very consistent and posting more than once and being in my creative space. But you know what? It's okay to take some time off. I took some time off. That doesn't mean that I've taken it off completely. I'm still posting almost at least every other day on short form, and I still record my weekly recaps. It's just that I take so long to edit and upload. Like right now, I haven't even finished uploading week 7. I haven't even finished editing it, and I'm now recording week 8. It's because I don't want the days to go by so fast. When they be going by so fast, I forget what I did. The next thing she's talking about is filling a form. Filling a form was actually very interesting. I read this yesterday, but what she was talking about is filling a form is like baby steps. This is what she writes. What do I mean by filling the form? I mean taking the next small step instead of skipping ahead to one large one which you might not be prepared. Instead of clearing out the little room in the kitchen so that we will have a place for our pottery, we complain that we need a studio. I feel like this is self-explanatory. She goes ahead to say, this kind of look at the big picture thinking ignores the fact that creative life is grounded in many, many small steps and very, very few large leaps. Crazy, because at the beginning she's like, take the leap, jump and the net will appear. And now she's like, take very little steps. Anyway, probably we're talking about two different things, but it's very interesting to think about. Maybe this has a lot to do with procrastination, because if you're ready to put in the work, jump. If you're not ready to put in the work and you're having a big goal and you're giving all these excuses, then take small steps daily. I believe that's what she's talking about. Rather than take a scary baby dream forward to our dreams, we rush to the edge of the cliff and stand there quaking and saying, I can't leap, I can't leap, I can't, because literally you're not ready. Oh my goodness, this is so important to read. I'm so glad this is something that stood out to me. I hope it stands out to you too. And I know sometimes I'm just talking and talking and talking, but you see how everything I aligned and spoke out to me makes sense as stories that follow each other, yet they're on completely different pages. Filling the form means that we must work with what we have than languish in complaint over what we have not. We have found that when we fill the form, we do not often need to make large changes. Large changes occur in tiny increments. This is a very big reminder, which also reminds me of that statement, preparation meets opportunity. Opportunity meets preparation. When you're already doing the things to lead you on this way, for example, the other week, I got one of the biggest brand deals I ever got, and it was because I had prepared myself. I made content about a brand that I actually genuinely use, and then they just asked me to pay for it. If I had never made content about them, I probably would have never made that deal. I'm using a random example, but I guess that's it. And then here there was an exercise. This exercise did not speak to me in any way. Early patterning and exercise. Basically, it was like marking the dots of your childhood. As a kid, my dad thought my art was blank, and that made me feel blank. I don't remember my dad knowing so much about my art as a kid. Actually, my dad, now that I think about it, my dad really loved our art. When we were kids, the first person who used to record me, he used to take videos of us on his cam recorder, of how we used to sing, all these interesting things, cool things that we did. Oh my gosh, and that made me feel, I'm going to do this exercise again, because I've now had another. Yesterday when I was reading it, for some reason I didn't think about that part. I was like, my dad was very busy to watch my art. But then again, he's the same person who used to record, who used to find it funny when we used to say certain things, and all those things that I used to say were out of my imagination. And he laughed and encouraged me, and actually asked sometimes when I say funny stuff, for the guy to put it on radio in the morning. Oh my goodness, what a realization. I miss my dad so much. May his soul rest in peace. Anyway, week 8 ended with affirmations. The following affirmations affirm your right to practice your creativity. Select 5 and work with them this week. I read this yesterday. but I went through them and I think they're amazing. So I'm going to read them out to you. I'm a talented person. I have the right to be an artist. I'm a good person and a good artist. Creativity is a blessing I accept. My creativity blesses others. My creativity is appreciated. I now treat myself and my creativity more gently. I now treat myself and my creativity more generously. I now share my creativity more openly. I now accept hope. I now act affirmatively. I now accept creative recovery. I now allow myself to heal. I now accept God's help unfolding my life. I now believe God loves artists. And those are the affirmations, which I really love. This week's tasks. Tasks of the week were, I did task 1 in a video. Let me just play that for you. Hey girl, I got a question for you. Alright, shoot. In a perfect world, what would you love to be? In a perfect world, I would love to be known as one of the best content creators and storytellers of all time. And fun fact, I personally consume more content than I do movies, so yes, I would like to be known as one of the best content creators of all time. Damn, this bowl is too small. Okay, what is one concrete goal that's going to signal to you its accomplishment? Seeing myself on billboards. Also working with some of my favorite brands, but of course when I work with them, I see myself on billboards because I'm working with them. That's what I feel like my true north will be right now. Also, not having to worry about bills and anything like that. That would be so great. It's called having disposable income. Where would you like to be in 5 years in relation to your dream and your true north? That's a very good question. In 5 years, I'd like to be inspiring other creators, especially Black content creators in the diaspora, because being an African in the diaspora sometimes can be very complicated, especially in your 30s. Sometimes you feel like content creation is not for you, or maybe it's too late, but I want to show people in 5 years that it's not too late. So what actions can you take this year to move you closer? Oh, I'm already taking the action. I'm creating content. I haven't been reaching out to brands as much as I should, but I'm going to get on it now that I've made this video. I need to get on my A game. What about this month, this day, right now? What action can you take? Oh, I'm already taking the action, honey. I show up every day. Like I told you, I take the action every day. I put in the work. I just took a little break. I got the smoked salmon cream cheese yesterday. It's actually the salmon color. Taste. Oh my god. Wow. You know what I didn't need? The salmon, because it already tastes like salmon in here. The bowl has no space. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm already doing everything to put me in the right direction. I'm just waiting for God's timing. Okay, so you want to be a famous, successful content creator? Yes, that is right. And you want to be on billboards while working with your favorite brands? That is also right. Okay, who inspires you on this journey? I'm going to go with Monet McMichael, and the reason is she's worked with so many brands. I would like to work with brands as much as possible. People really relate to her. Every time you ask someone which content creator inspires you, Monet McMichael. So I want people to do the same for me. I also have Any Given Sunday. I really love Any Given Sunday. She's so classy. Then of course everyone knows I love the Oddity. Sorry, I have more than one person for this one. And then also Alex Earl. The reason why I like Alex Earl is I don't know how she does it. She parties so hard, but she works even harder. How is she able to stay on track with everything that she has to do even when she parties as much as she does? I think it's time to make a new plan. 5 years from now, 3 years, 1 year, 1 month, 1 week. I'm going to do that off camera. And there you have it. You're already on the right track. I know. Wow, this looks so freaking good. Let's pretend like I know how to use chopsticks. Cheers. See you in the next one. Bye. And that's the only task I did this week. I know one thing for sure is that I'm going to repeat the artist's way because I'd like to go through these tasks again. I never got again. Doing these tasks is not a must. The first one had so many parts in it, and she's like, if you only do this one, that's fine. So I did that one. The second task was new childhood. What might you have been if you had had the perfect nurturing? Write a page of this fantasy childhood. Can you reparent yourself into that direction now? I'm going to do this as a journaling exercise maybe tonight. Actually, this is a very good journaling prompt. The third task is about color schemes. Pick a color and write a quick few sentences describing yourself in the first person. I'll just pick a color and let's do this out loud. I know I'm wearing green and I know there's green in the background, but I'm choosing purple. I am purple. I am love. I am vibrant, I am connected, I am lovable, I am beautiful, I'm vibrant, I spread love, I'm attractive. That's all I have. Damn, why do I feel like that was very personal? Oh shit, am I going to regret this? What is your favorite color? What do you have in that color? I can change my lights to the color purple. I have purple lip gloss. I have 2 purple journals. Task number 4, list 5 things you are not allowed to do. Okay, I'm not going to do this one because the examples are actually stupid. They're like my boss screaming in church, go outside naked. Oh my goodness, I would love to do this. Write it, draw it, paint it, act it out, collage it, now put some music and what am I not allowed to do? What am I not allowed to do right now? Okay, I've thought it and I'm going to do this exercise. Damn, I'm skipping the fifth one. It says the ideal day, plan the perfect day in your life. Basically, this week's exercise is what to restructure your childhood, to heal your inner child, because this question is asking ideal day. Plan the perfect day in your life as it is now constituted, using the information gleaned from above. Damn, I missed an exercise above. Which was list 20 things you like to do. Perhaps you're the same 20 like you listed before. Answer these questions about each of them. Does it cost money or is it free? Is it cheap or is it expensive? Are you doing it alone or with somebody? Is it job related? Is it physical? Does it bring physical risk? Is it fast paced or slow? Is it mind, body, or spiritual? So my perfect day would include, well, I think we're going to skip that one. I thought we would do it together. Then plan the perfect day in your life as you wish it were constituted. No restrictions. Allow yourself to be or have whatever your heart desires. Your ideal environment, job, home, circle of friends, intimate relationships, stature of art form, your wildest dreams. I think I've done this before, but it was more like my ideal work day, not a chill day, because I love what I do and I don't mind doing it in my everyday life, as it's very chill, it's fun for me. Choose one festive aspect of your ideal day. Allow yourself to live it. One festive aspect of my ideal day and allow myself to live it. I did not do that. You may not be able to move to Rome yet, but even in your still grungy apartment, you can enjoy homemade cappuccino and a croissant. Okay, so in my ideal life, literally, I would like to be working for brands. So what would I be doing right now in my apartment? I'd be creating content for brands, which is so okay. I think I'm going to schedule a day where I'm going to just pretend like I'm working for a brand and they hired me. Actually, I don't have to pretend. I have some old footage that I've really wanted to post for a long time. It's behind the scenes of how I create brand content. So I think I'm going to edit that and I'm going to use that as what my ideal day would look like, because that's a highlight of my day. Me working for a brand, me putting in as much work, me being creative and all them things. I already have the footage. Let me just edit it and get into the feels of working with a brand and attract that to myself and be on the same wavelength type shit. Anyway, that's it guys, that's it for week 8. I do not know, this has been such an interesting recap for me, although I finished reading it yesterday, but I've seen the exercises of week 9 and the first exercise is to read through my journal and I'm like, damn, I have to read through my journal. I low-key kind of don't want to read through it because I know certain things that I talked about in week 1 I haven't worked on still, and I'm just like, damn, I'm going to beat myself up. So anyway, that's it. As always, do not forget to stay motivated, be patient, trust the process, and spread the love. I'll see you in the next one. And bye. We're going to get back to vlogs very soon. We are going to get back.